Right, it's Monday, November 10th, and we are having a bit of a cold snap here in Florida, but you know what? It feels kind of good. Once you get working, this weather is not too shabby, at least in my opinion. Anyway, I was remiss in doing any videos over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, but pretty much because there's not that much going on. But if you combine it with what I got done today, it's pretty good. We'll take a look at it. So let me flip this around. And first of all, walk back to the back of the Quonset hut. God, I can never seem to get away from this. But what I got done was I replaced all of the stainless steel screws with no neoprene bonded washers with ones with washers. Now they don't come together. I buy the washers in a little box, like 100 of them, and then I actually just put them onto the stainless steel screws. So I just kind of by hand screw them on, and then once it's up at the top I just screw it in. But yeah, so they're all done. Everything's got a neoprene washer on it. That way I got no galvanic corrosion happening between stainless steel and aluminum. So yeah, that's a good thing. Plus it seals the hole pretty well. I mean, I don't know how much better you can get with neoprene pressed right up against the hole. So all right, so let's go inside, take a look at what's going on in there. I'm gonna turn my lights on. All right, lights are on. And one of the things that I did, little pet project, was to map out these little boards that are going to go on the back side of the Quonset hut for the gooseneck lights. So they will basically mount on there like that. So there's 6 screws in each of these, and they'll get screwed from the back side of this wall into these boards that go between those studs. So there's this part of it, and then they've got this thing that'll sit on the top, so rain will hit this, come down and drop off. Again, not really necessary, but it'll look a little decent. So I got to get these painted up, and then I'll mount them on the back side of the Quonset hut. All right, moving on. I did get all of these shelves painted with 2 coats. I think I was talking about, one thick coat would have been fine. Well, the next day I looked at it, it really needed a second coat. So you know what, I just did it. I did 2 coats on all of these, and yeah, it looks great. I put it all together. This one is complete 100% and good to go. So I just have 1, 2, 3 more of those, and then this one that I built on the back. It's a little bit wider, but so 4 basically to do. All right, light bars, we're getting better. I stuck them out in the sun today. Hopefully the sun and the wind today will help them dry a little faster, but they were pretty close. I could really see through that caulk. It's, when you put clear caulk on, it goes on as white, completely white, but then when it dries, it's clear. So they are close to drying, and then I can assemble them. And you can see my pile of OSB has gotten much smaller. So where did it go? Well, I've got all of these shelf units with OSB on every single shelf in here. Not all of them are screwed down yet, so I'm going to have to screw them down. Some of them are. There's 2, I think, that are complete 100%. But yeah, I'm getting close with this. And let's see. I think that's it for in here. Let's go up to the little shed, because there are some shelves up there that have OSB on them as well. So I think I'm gonna need maybe 2 4 sheets of it. But the good news is, if I can get Lowe's to just cut them at maybe 54 inches, I can get them into my Pathfinder and then cut up the pieces from there. Those extra pieces will be for the shelf units. I'm just using up all the big pieces right now for the long 8-footer shelves, both the ones down in the Quonset hut and in here. Running out of light, but so I've got this all the way across done. Not screwed in yet, but all the pieces are cut and put in place. So the only thing remaining is this, that, and that. So 4 more pieces of OSB to go in here. And if you recall, I'm going to have to take this down and take this off, put this on, and then screw it on top of the OSB, just because there's really no place to put a screw here. I mean, I could put a 2x4 in there, but that's just as much work as taking this off, because they're just really kind of tacked in place there. All right, well, that's it for Monday. Not too shabby, but hopefully I'll be able to wrap up the shelving units by maybe tomorrow, and then I can move on to some lighting stuff and carriage doors. I think that's next. All right, talk to you later. It is end of the day on Monday. Chilly day here, but getting a little better. I think for the next couple of days we'll get some much better weather. I'm going to start in the little shed first here. Let's go in. Running out of light, so sorry about that. I have all of the pieces cut for all the shelves in here. The square here that goes on top on both sides will then get put on, well, this piece will get put on there. So there's a piece that's for this shelf, and then this piece with the blue front, that'll go over here, and the same over here. This piece with the blue on the front, once this gets put back into place, will go up here. So all the pieces are cut. I've laid out all the stud lines, so tomorrow morning I can start screwing all these down on both sides, and that will finish it up in here, I think. All right, well, let's move down to the Quonset hut. Sure that's locked. Okay. I've been trying to make a new path from the shed to the Quonset hut. So it seems like the natural walkway. Eventually I'll get some stepping stones to kind of mark out the paths on the property. That's another day. All right. Coming along. Been trying to do pretty much all of the cutting needed to be done, and then just leaving the assembly and the screwing down. So you notice the OSB pile is gone completely, and I think I mentioned before, I have a piece of OSB for every shelf of the rolling storage units, and then these here, this stack here plus this one, this is already ready to go. It's got the corners cut out, but these were cutoffs from some of the other pieces, and they're just like a 1/4 inch thinner than this one. But you know what, I can live with that. So these will be used for these black plastic shelf units, and they got to get the corners cut out of them. And there's one more over there getting ready to cut the corners out of that. I will need 3 more of these, so I'm going to have to get probably 1 piece of OSB from Lowe's to finish up, and then I'll have them cut it in half, and I can get it into my Pathfinder. I won't have to rent another trailer. And then this this pile here also was cutoffs, but it's perfect for, oh, I'm sorry, it was not cutoffs. It was the last remaining sheet that I was able to get 4 shelves out of it, and that will be for this wooden rolling shelf over there. So they're all cut, ready to go. And this is basically all the leftover pieces. I do need, once I get everything screwed down, I will need to make some, what I'm calling gusset plates, and I'm gonna put them on this bottom section, probably only maybe this high, just to keep this whole thing from racking. I got multiple screws down here and it seems pretty sturdy, but I'm just gonna put an extra gusset plate on here, on each side of all the rolling storage units, just to keep things from racking and moving over time. And I did make a little progress on these little boxes that I'm going to be putting on the back side of the back wall of the Quonset hut, there and there. So these will get screwed through the wall 6 places, boom, and then the gooseneck light will just mount right there. And that'll just sort of frame it and give a little color to the backing so it doesn't look like just some tiny little light is mounted to some giant expanse of wall. We just look out of proportion. So hopefully this will help to deal with that. And the light bars, yeah, I have them out in the sun and the wind, just drying. I think they're done. So I have to check them. They've been out since this morning. Yeah, I think they're probably ready to assemble at this point. So that's it for Monday. I think I made some pretty good progress. Tomorrow, I think I ought to be able to wrap up some of this stuff. So that's cool. All right, it is Wednesday, November 12th. The very end of the day. I am losing light, so we're gonna have to do this quick. What a boring day. All I really did was screw down OSB to those rolling carts. So, whew, almost done, but man, surprisingly hard on the arms and the back. I didn't expect that, but whatever. Yeah, so let's quickly start in the little shed. All right, it's very dark in here, but everything is done. Everything is screwed down on this north side, all this OSB, all of the south side. I put these squares back on. Well, first I put this piece of OSB down and screwed it down completely. Put these squares back on, screwed them in, put this next shelf on top, then put the other piece of OSB on top of that and screwed that down. So we are 100% complete in the little shed. So that's how I started my day. Let's go back down to Quonset hut. And as I finish these carts, I'm able to put stuff on them, and it's really starting to free up some space. So it feels bigger, you know, it feels like I got more space to move stuff around. So let's take a look at what we've got accomplished in here. Like I said, I'm almost done. All right. So this cart, these first 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are 100% done. And then this one is almost done. I think I just have to do the top on this one. I did that first a couple days ago. I forget exactly where I left it, but it's close, and then this one is not done at all. So tomorrow I'll have to deal with this one long one. And I did actually start to put these gusset plates on the long carts, and it does stiffen it up for sure. So they're all in place, and I'll probably have to do some for the shorter ones as well. I just need to see what I have left over once I've used everything up. So I think I'm going to have enough to do at least, yeah, I'll probably have enough to do all the gusset plates, although they might not be as high as I would have liked, but I'll put something in there, and that should do the trick. All right, well, I didn't get much else done today. That was enough, believe me. And the light bars are done. They are dry. They've been sitting outside in the sun and the breeze. So yeah, you can totally see right through that caulk. It's clear, so it's dry. And I don't know if I think I showed these, but I got a whole coat of paint on them. They got to do one more coat, and then they'll be ready to install. All right, that's it for Wednesday. Talk to you tomorrow. All right, Thursday, November 13th. It is very, very, very end of day. I am almost out of light outside here, but fortunately, there's lights on inside the Quonset hut. So, let me just recap real quickly. Up at the lid, up there, all of the shelving units are complete 100%. All the pieces of OSB are screwed down. Everything is ready to go. I got a few other tweaks to do on the roof, on the gable ends of this little shed. And again, I got to finish the one last coat of Bondo over that patch, but it's good. It's not leaking. We've had some rain, and I haven't seen any signs of leak. So I think we're pretty good on that, but I'll get back to it. All right, let's go inside here. Started early this morning, and now we have all of the rolling storage carts complete with the OSB shelves all screwed down. The only thing remaining is the 4-footers. Need to get some gusset plates on there, and I do have some smaller pieces like this one here that's an 8-footer. I'll cut that up and put that on there. That's not really that big a deal. That goes quickly. And I was working on this wooden shelf unit here today. I got all of the wide lath pieces cut for it, screwed on and painted, and it's basically complete. I'm going to do one more coat on each of the shelves here. I think most of them have 2 coats except for this bottom one, but I am out of Southern Peach, so I'm going to have to maybe go into town tomorrow or Saturday and get some more Southern Peach paint, and probably some of the Spanish tile as well. Yeah, I'm just going to need it, so I'll probably get another gallon of each just to have on hand. And finally, I got the back sides of these plates that the gooseneck lights are going to be mounted on. The back sides are painted with 2 coats, and I'm going to give the front one more coat tomorrow, and that will be it for these. These will be ready to go up, and that is my Thursday. So that was a long day, believe it or not. So yeah, I guess I will talk to you on Friday. All right, it's Friday, November 14th, end of the day. And it was a pretty long week, a couple of strenuous days there, but I made it through okay. I'm doing good. So let's go inside to the Quonset hut and see what the end of the week wrap up has. Okay, so what did I get done? Let's start with this shelf unit. Those are 4 of the shelves assembled for this black vertical shelf unit, and they need to get painted. And I'm out of paint, so tomorrow is going to be a go into town day and get some supplies. Paint, I need paint, more of the Southern Peach, and I need another piece of OSB to complete all of these shelves for these 3 vertical black plastic shelving units, 1, 2, 3. I've got some more of these done. Let me show you those. They are all the OSB was cut and assembled with this wide lath pieces on the sides and the back. And then, like I said, I need 1 more piece of OSB to complete 3 more of these shelves. And those are the 3 sets of wide lath that will go on the remaining 3 OSB shelves. And that should really complete all of the rolling shelf units. All right, so what else got done? I did a lot of cleaning today. You can see it's probably a little bit more open in here. I wanted to get a reassessment of all the space I have. I got rid of this one table where I was using for setting up Bondo. And not that I'm done bondoing, but I'm just not bondoing right now. So I thought I'd break that station down and put the Bondo away, just to give me some more space to work around in here, and also clean the floor, because wherever you have one of these stations, the floor just gets filthy underneath there, and there's no way to really clean it very well except to just break it down and then finally sweep it, vacuum it, whatever. So that's the shelves. And then over here, these boards that the gooseneck lights will be mounted to, I forgot that I needed to fill in a couple of spots on the top where I have a long screw that goes from about here into this vertical piece, and that would have been a water catch. So I decided I would put some wood filler on that top section. And that's actually what you're looking at, is actually the second coat of the wood filler, and it still needs to dry. Once it's dried, I'll sand it, and then I'll put 1 more coat of this red paint on it, and they will be ready to be mounted on the outside of this wall into these boards up there, and then I can mount the gooseneck lights on them. I mean, they're actually pretty simple. The gooseneck lights just have 2 screws, that's it, right there and there, that hold the escutcheon plate to the board, and then the wires feed right through the hole. I still have to drill the hole through these boards to get it to come into the building, but then I'll have a little like a box where the wires can get wire nutted to the power. And I'll probably have a switch back here. Yeah, I'm debating whether or not to put the switch back here with the fans, or actually run a wire and do the whole thing and come down here. It's actually probably more convenient to be down here, but that's a whole long wire. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. What else? Oh, finally, with this back door, the piece of aluminum that I had installed last week, there were a number of holes in the aluminum. It was just the piece that I chose to put here, so those holes needed to be patched. So these little round punch plates or whatever, blanks you want to call them, I put them over the holes with a little bit of clear caulk, and it just holds it right in place. And once that caulk dries, it is not coming off. I mean, you'd really have to struggle to remove those. So there was 7 of them on this one piece of aluminum, mostly on the side here, and then 2 at the top. So all the holes for that piece of aluminum for the door are patched. And I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this week. And then next week, probably, after I get back from town tomorrow, I can start working on, well, the lights here, putting them up, and finally assembling these light bars. I can put the two halves of the clamshell together and then start mounting them on the front of the building. And then finally, hopefully I'll get to it next week. I think I will, is put the man door. This here will go right in this front opening right about here. And then I'll frame up the top. That's just going to get up above the door. We'll just get solid wood above it. And then to my right here on the inside, there'll be a carriage door that's from floor to ceiling, or floor to the top of the opening here, and then another door here, and they will open into the building. That's just my choice. A lot of times they open out, but I chose to have them open in for reasons. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have to start building those doors, and I've got the lumber for it. I've got the hinges for it. I've got the lawn over there. It's all ready to go. That's going to be what sheathes the doors. And yeah, it should be an interesting little project. And I'll be happy to close in the whole building with those three doors, man door and two carriage doors. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this week, and I will talk to you in the next one.